I don't know if y'all saw what's been going on in the House of Representatives, but they ooh, they had it out. Ooh, that was better than Real Housewives. I'm not gonna lie, that was pretty good. Okay, in case you didn't see what happened, basically, they were having a committee hearing, and I don't really know how they work. They use certain rules of order where they're like point of order, you know, and there's like this moderator that doesn't do his job and stuff. And basically, Representative, I think her name was Jasmine Crockett, said to Marjorie Taylor Greene, she's like, do you know what we're talking about right now? Do you know what we're here for? And then Marjorie Taylor Greene said, I do know what we're here for. Do you know what we're here for? Because those fake eyelashes might be messing up your reading. And immediately, everyone had a reaction, and AOC was the one to be like, hey, can we strike this from the record? You can't do this. Like, this is crazy. You're not supposed to engage in personal attacks on appearance or personality during a hearing. Like, you have to have some form of order, right? And then the person that runs the committee that doesn't do his job was just sort of ignoring her. So then, you know, they let it go. But before that, you know, Marjorie Taylor turns to AOC and she's like, did I hurt your feelings or something? And then AOC said, girl, no. Baby girl, no. In case you aren't familiar, all right, a girl followed by a baby girl is equivalent to showing a Glock. I've never had a woman tell another woman in front of me, girl, baby girl, without something happening next. That's because it's such gentle language. Because it's two women talking to each other. So girl implies like my girl, hey girl, you know what I mean? Girl, and then baby girl. Baby girl is smaller than girl. Baby girl comes from an even gentler place, but is somehow much more violent. Baby girl. I'll put it this way, girl is hair. Girl is, you know, snatching up someone by their hair. Baby girl is choke. Baby girl is hands around the throat. One hand is baby, the other is girl. Baby girl. Whew. And then later, Representative Jasmine just asked the leader, the one who doesn't do his job. She was like, hey, I just want to check, just so I know the rules, I want to check if I were to say something about somebody's beach, blonde, bad built, botched body. And to be fair, look, I wasn't there. I don't know exactly what she said, because some people are like bad beach blonde, bad built butch body, or beach blonde, bad built botched body. Either way, it's a bop. Either way. It's rare, and that was like kind of off the dome. That was incredible. That was one of those things where I was reading it. I've never read like a news magazine before and been like, beach blonde, bad built butch body. Man, get Metro Boomin on that one. That's crazy. So I don't know exactly what she said, but she was like, if I were to mention somebody's beach blonde, bad built, botch body, would that be engaging in personality attacks? And then a bunch of people on the Republican side made the same noise as the Democratic side before, and then they were like, this is not the time, blah, blah. And then Jasmine was like, no. Because y'all love to dish it out, but you can't take it. And then the article ended, and I was like, that's the problem with journalism today. That's what. Now I gotta go watch C-SPAN to see how it ended. I feel like one of the main things that I miss from being a kid is ooh. Do y'all remember ooh? Do y'all remember like ooh? What an incredible experience. Ooh is beautiful. You know what's so beautiful about it? It's one of those like communal experiences. No one teaches you how to do ooh when you're a kid. You know what I mean? No one sits you down and sometimes you're gonna want to clap, and sometimes you're gonna be like ooh. Like no, your parents never give you a talk like that. You just are a kid, and then maybe you're talking in class, everybody's talking in class, and then the teacher gets frustrated, turns around, points out one kid and goes, Mr. Perkins, and then all the kids go, ooh. It's beautiful. It's almost like a religious experience that you're having outside of church, you know what I mean? Everybody knew to do it at the same time. Like starting a good slow clap. When a real slow clap happens, you're like, wow, we really did it, y'all. Ooh is beautiful. And then as you get older, ooh starts to go away a little bit. You know, because we all have different experiences. When you're a kid, most kids have the same general big fears, right? Getting called out in the middle of class, getting embarrassed, something happening, somebody. But as you get older, everything starts to splinter off. Everything goes in different directions, and so one person's ooh is another person's nothing, right? It's very hard as an adult to have an ooh experience, so I treasure them now when I have them. It's beautiful. Like I was walking down the street one day, and I was passing this bar, and there was a woman yelling at her boyfriend to the point that a crowd had gathered. Like it really felt like a street performance, the way that she was taking him to task. And she was like, I had one day off, JR. I had one day off and you ruined it. And he's like, I'm sorry. No, sorry's not enough. This has happened so many times. I have one day off, JR, and you ruined it. And then out of nowhere, she just swung and slapped him, right? Slapped him from everybody, and everybody was like, oh. And just like that, I was like, wow, I'm back in it. This is incredible. I went to a friend's wedding a while back, and the thing that was amazing to me about this wedding is just how personal it was, right? So it was a smaller wedding, so it wasn't like a huge room or anything, and the groom got his best friend to officiate the wedding, right? And I think that's kind of cool. You know, some people want someone, like if they have it at a church, they want like their pastor to do it, but just someone that makes it special, right? And then the couple, they wrote their own vows, which I also thought was pretty cool, because it was very specific stuff to them that was like cute and was funny and stuff like that. And you can tell that the friend officiating was nervous because he was holding the mic, but it was like shaking in his hand, everything. It was all very, very sweet, right? And then it got that time to, you know, say like, do you take, and everything. And then, you know, Buddy looks at the groom and says, do you take Ashley to be your lawfully wedded wife? But Ashley was the groom's ex's name. Doesn't it? Doesn't it just feel good to just let it out? Oh. You know, admittedly, I don't know much about dating, but I do know white people. And the weather has a real effect on y'all. It's a nice day out, and every person I made eye contact with has told me. Y'all saw the sunlight today. You were delighted. I was outside, and somebody walked up to me outside and was like, what a day. You know, and maybe it's just the New Yorker, but I was like, nah, I know, it's very good. They were like, nah, this is great. And in my head, I'm like, does it rain every other day or something? Good to know. No, I was happy for everyone. Everybody was having such a good time. You know, it's like the weather today felt like when your friend wants you to see a movie really bad, and then they watch it with you, but they watching you watch the movie to make sure you're enjoying it as much as. But then you're like, but I see it, and they're like, no, but are you paying attention? It's like, you not paying attention, you looking at me. There were a couple people I was concerned about. You know what I mean? Because there were a couple people. I was at the hotel, you know, I was chilling with Logan. We were about to go get something to eat. And there was one guy that was so happy, he got upset. You know what I mean? Like we saw him, you know, passed him on the way out of the elevator. He's like, it's a really nice day. I was like, oh, buddy, it sounds like you needed this one. It sounded like one more day of rain, something was gonna happen, all right? I can see that same dude looking out the window. If I see another drop of rain, everybody dies. Then the clouds broke and he was like, yes, yes, yes. Because I was enjoying the weather too. I just didn't feel like I was doing a good enough job. Okay, you know, like when you go to like Six Flags or something and you having fun, but your friend is having the best time ever, to where you're like, I don't think we at the same place. You know, like y'all both walking up to the line for the Batman ride. I guess it's just perspective. I guess it's just that when I walk up to the line, I see how long the line is. I'm like, oh, we gonna be standing here for 45 minutes. But he's looking up at the ride like, Batman. I'm like, yeah, buddy, yeah. Yeah, Batman, and we'll be there in 45 minutes. I had a realization that I'm getting older now, and as a man, like as a grown man, I'm actually too old now to get kidnapped. Like if I got snatched on the street and then they held me for ransom, as a man, you'd be like, nah, I live with y'all now. Like I can't. You can't send me back. That's too embarrassing. I just got snatched up like I was waiting for my mom after school. Y'all got me. We good. I'm part of the gang now. Can't send me back. Imagine, there's actually a statistic that nobody talks about. Thousands, I'm telling you, thousands of men go missing every year. We don't look, but thousands of men go missing. And I think it was 2021 where men going missing outpaced women going missing, right? And it's like an insane stat. When I was reading it, I didn't believe it. I was like, how is that possible? But I think it's because men know when they get snatched up, they're like, bro, just kill me, because I can't go back now. Imagine you a grown man with a family, right? You a grown man with children, and you got kidnapped, and then you come home and try to be the patriarch of your family, knowing you were a kidnapped man. You know what I mean? Knowing you a diet man, knowing you light. Standing there over your kid, telling him not to talk to strangers, and then your 8-year-old go. Well, Dad, between the two of us, I'm not the one that's been snatched up before. I'm not the one that's walking around irresponsibly. I try to be an optimistic person, I really do. But this does feel like a weird year to have Christmas.
This feel like the type of year where you gonna go to bed December 24th and wake up and it's December 26th. You know what I mean? Not just Christmas, all the holidays. It feels kind of wild. All the holidays. It's like, all right, I guess we gotta try. All of it. I don't know a single person that's excited for their holiday coming up. Everybody's like, and I gotta do this. No, not at all. You know, I try though. I try to bring some of the joy back, some whimsy. You know, I've been going to the mall in every city that we've been going to. If I can make it to the mall, I go to the mall. Y'all remember the mall? It's like Amazon with rooms. And when I go to the mall now, especially this time of year, I look for Santa. You know what I mean? Because nobody's going to Santa anymore. It's actually really sad. Like no, you go to the mall and no one is going to Santa at all. It's like we've lost it socially. Like it's not happening. Even when you look at social, you're seeing less and less people post pictures with their kids with Santa and stuff like that. Like we're just not doing Santa. I don't even know if they tell kids about Santa anymore. It seems like they don't tell kids about Santa. My friends have kids. And I don't know a single kid that's like, oh, I'm hoping Santa brings me. All of them got an Amazon wish list. They all. We've lost it. We've lost that like touch of whimsy. We have, you know, now the kid knows. The kid had the wish list, had it all picked out, emailed you. And now if everything not on the list, they're like, I guess times must be tough. Like the thing, this is what Santa did for our parents, right? Santa was this little gap where like some real magic could happen. You came up with your list, right? And you were polite. Because Santa's a stranger. You don't want to come off greedy. And so you would write down a few things that you would love for Christmas. You would even scratch stuff out. People would pour, like kids that I knew would pour so much attention over, they would stress over their Christmas list. They would go over and over again, they scratch stuff. I know I actually want that. You see this little piece of paper, by the end of the day, it was unrecognizable. So many scratches and then writing over and then scratching and then misspelling, and now you got to rewrite it because what if you misspell it and Santa doesn't know what that is? You know? And so you would write this letter, and then your parents would be like, we'll mail it to Santa for you. You're like, thank you so much. You already doing a lot. That trip to the... I remember my mom was like, I'll send this to Santa. And I was like, you really a saint. You know that? Like, you are, because you knew I wasn't going to make it to the post office on my own. Like, you really doing me a solid right now. I'm going to go back to playing with these blocks, but I won't forget this. You a real sweetheart, you know, truly. And then Christmas would come and the presents were wrapped. And even if you stayed up, there were a lot of parents out there too crafty. You couldn't catch them, you know. Yeah, and you would think you were staying up too. You would think you were like, I better go to sleep because if you're awake, Santa won't come, which was kind of true. I was like, all right, okay. And then, you know, you go to sleep. I remember one time I went to sleep. This was on Christmas Eve. Went to sleep. Woke up middle of the night. I was terrified. I was like, he gotta know this one not my fault. Like, he gotta. And I woke up because I needed to go to the bathroom. And so I was laying in bed and I was like, I think I'm gonna have to wet this one. I think I'm gonna have to. It's not worth Christmas, all right? You know, I can try to hold it as long as I don't dream about water. I think I'll be all right, but if I get up and then Santa hear my feet, that might be a wrap for the whole year. I've been good all year, not for nothing. I was good all year, and you know he was watching this stuff, so I'm probably gonna get everything that I asked for, so I can't risk that over a little tinkle, you know? And so then Christmas Day comes. Wow. Christmas Day is here. You wake up excited for Christmas, but even more excited that you see sunlight. It means you can finally pee. And so you bust out of the bed and you run to the bathroom and the door is closed. Someone's in there. And you're like, all right, I've waited for hours. I guess I can wait a little longer. They come out of the bathroom. They're like, Merry Christmas. You know, there's no time. All right. You rush past them, slam the door. You come out. After you wash your hands, you're like, I'm sorry about that. All right. I've been dealing with a lot. Christmas morning, it's time to open presents. You sitting there and you see a bunch of boxes. You see a bunch of boxes, and some of them aren't even boxes. Some of them just gift wrap lumps. And the lumps worry you because you're like, I don't think I asked for anything lumpy. I don't know. This might be for somebody else. He might be confused. You sit down, and maybe every family does it differently. Maybe each person opens a gift and they all take turns, and you're all like, that's great for you. You know what I mean? Like, or maybe you get to open all yours and someone gets to open all theirs and everything. And I was the only child, and I was the first grandbaby in I think a decade or something. So it really was like my mom, my aunt, my dad, my grandma, my grandpa were all in on Christmas for just me. I was so blessed that they really were excited to see me open these gifts. I didn't have to I never had to fight for that sort of attention or anything. They were very excited to see my reaction, right? Which is a blessing, and let's just call it a double-edged sword. Because now, without me realizing, there's a bunch of pressure for me to like every gift, because each gift was from one of them, you know? And so I started opening gifts, and there were some years where I was very blessed. I had a bunch of gifts. Some years where I got a few gifts, but they were exactly what I wanted, So I started opening gifts, and maybe my grandma would hand me one and be like, this is from Santa. I'd be like, all right. I'd start opening it, and I remember the year, a Nintendo 64. I didn't know how unproductive my life was about to get. I didn't know. I was about to have a rough year in math. Because they got me an N64 and they got me Diddy Kong Racing. a true N64 classic. I didn't know it at the time, but I was a part of history. I would lose thousands of hours, like many children, to a game where you could either play as a plane, a car, or like a little hovercraft tubing thing, which really didn't make any sense. Like love that game so much. I played it for hours Christmas Day. And then, I didn't play it right away. There were other gifts to open. This was a beautiful Christmas, right? I remember I got handed one of the lumpy ones. It also said from Santa, right? And I was like, okay. And I opened it, and it was 2 shirts. Not to sound ungrateful, but as someone with shirts, I was like, ooh, okay, wow, and it fits me just right. I know he wrote Josh, but he must have meant another name. This needs to go to someone who doesn't have shirts. Because then when you would open these gifts, you would think back to when you went to see Santa and you told him about this, and he was like, oh, yes, that sounds doable. That sounds, well, if you've been good this year, then you have nothing to worry about, right? And then you would think back to that thing when you open the gift and you're like, oh, this is what he was talking about. He said I didn't have anything to worry about and my man came through. And then, as the years pass, you find out. You find out, and like Christmas, it doesn't necessarily lose its magic. It just morphs into a different thing. Because one thing that my family would do, I don't know about anybody else, because there are some families where I completely understand. I really don't judge how you try to enjoy the holiday or raise your family. But there are some people that I knew growing up who Santa didn't come to their house because their parents were like, no, I got it. Oh, please believe I didn't work overtime to give the credit to the man at the mall. No, Daddy got you that. I remember one time my friend was my friend's dad was talking about it, and because he had said something about like, but what about when Santa comes? That's like all I heard in the conversation. But what about when Santa comes? And he was like, Santa work 1 month out of the year. I work all 12. I'm handling it. I remember this is like right at the cusp of me finding out, right? So this is like right before I found out, okay? But I remember being like, I was still a kid. I wasn't like itty bitty. I was where you start putting it together. And because, I come from this area in the South, I come from Louisiana, and I'm blessed to be raised by all of these educators and everything, and just like living down south, you'll experience it sooner or later. And then sometimes your parents try to shield you by arming you with the knowledge of what the world is like before you have to experience a part of it yourself. And so I was being taught about segregation, about how my grandmother was treated when she was a kid, about what laws there used to be in the place that we live. That they were telling me how this thing wasn't that long ago, that people would try to make it seem like ancient history, but a lot of those people are still alive for it, which means it's more recent than they're comfortable with, you know? And I was finding out about segregation right around the time that I saw a black Santa and a white Santa. So I remember going to the mall that year and seeing Santa, and he was white. And I sat in his lap like all those other years, you know, and I don't know, I was just thinking to myself, as a little kid, you know, I was just thinking to myself, like, yeah, this is progress, you know what I mean? Like, we always... Because also, you're so little when you were going to Santa, especially in the 90s, when you would go to Santa, that it was a whole other year later. You didn't really put it together that this Santa didn't look like the last Santa. Santa would change it wasn't until I had almost figured it out that I was like, oh, Santa, how you been? This man's like, what do you mean? I'm like, oh, you just, you know, you just look a little different. And then, like, what different? How do you mean? And it's like, that was on him. That was like follow-up questions. It's not my fault anymore. How do you mean? I was like, oh, you don't know? And I guess if you don't feel different, you're not different. But yeah, last time you just had, you know, a glow about you. You know what I mean? Because not everybody had the same loving experiences with Santa that I did. I'm aware some people had their bad, you know, their bad experiences. You know, like my friend wrote a letter to Santa because that's how his parents had him do it. He was like, they were like trying to teach him letter writing and penmanship and everything. They were like, you got to write a letter to Santa, and the letter to Santa has to be clear, it has to be legible, and you have to write it like a letter. Dear Santa, say exactly what you want, and make sure you sign off sincerely yours, your name, right? Write a letter. And so he wrote a letter to Santa, and then he didn't get what he wanted that year, and he was so disappointed. You know, that the next year, this is what they made him do every year, the next year he wrote a letter to Santa again, but instead of making requests, this time he was just sort of airing his grievances. He was just sort of airing his grievances about the prior year. So he wrote this letter to Santa. He was like, Dear Santa, I'll kill you. You think you can play with me? I was good all year last year, and you didn't bring anything I wanted. You just brought me stuff that my parents told me that I should buy with the money from my lemonade stand. How are you gonna take their side over mine? Thanks for nothing. Good for nothing. Santa. Sincerely yours, Roger. And of course, his parents read the letter, And then he got in trouble. And he felt even more betrayed. He was like, you read my letter to Santa? Is there no justice? That was a private conversation. Over here meddling. And so when I go to the mall and I see Santa, it hits different. I remember all of these like special experiences I had with Santa at the mall, right? And then I see Santa over there, and they don't even have him in prime real estate anymore. They got Santa in the back of the mall. They put him in the back, they put him in the corner. They put Santa in the mall the same places that the airport put Spirit Airlines when they unless you got a ticket, unless you got a boarding pass, you won't find this area at all. Even with the boarding pass, you always in the wrong area. How you gonna have a terminal 4.5? You know Spirit Airlines, it's the Waffle House of airlines. I've actually flown Spirit plenty times, and I love to see a fight. I love to see a fight. Because here's the thing. And I know Spirit gets like a bad reputation because basically everything that is happening on other airlines is just happening on Spirit, but Spirit takes you to a place where you're willing to go to jail. Like you just like you're like ready. You know what I mean? You ready. And so a fight on Spirit, because I'll give you an example. I've seen a bunch of almost fights on Delta. I've seen a lot of almost fights on Delta because what Delta will do is that they will put your layover, they'll make your layover 12 seconds. So you'll leave, you did everything you're supposed to do. You got to the airport on time, you went through TSA, and then you board, and then you take off, and then you land. And you knew it because they did it on your other boarding pass. They were like, oh, the time that you're taking off is the time that you're landing. They're the same time. They're the same. And when you look at it initially, you're like, oh, I must gain an hour. No, it's no time zone difference. Yeah, and so then you land, and you land panicked. You land because you're missing it. You land and you're late. You're already late, and so you want to get off the plane as soon as possible. And you will ask the flight attendant, even you'll be like, as you're boarding, be like, I have a very, very tight connection. Can you please make that announcement y'all make sometimes about people who, you don't have to say my name, like people who have tight connections, so that if people could sit and then let them leave first and everything, so they have a chance to make it. So they have a chance. You remember chances? And I remember the last time I asked a flight attendant to do this, because my entire group, we had such a tight layover that I was like, it is a significant amount of people on the plane that have to get to the next gate, which isn't close, because that's also too much to ask. It would be crazy if you landed and you had to go next door, right? It's like, no, if you got a layover, the fun of a layover is the fun of a layover is running, you know what I mean? It's not a layover if you don't exercise. It's not a layover. Okay. This is probably gonna be where you turn on me, but look. There was a flight I was on one time where where we landed was my final destination. But those people had like a tight layover. So then they made the announcement. And when they make the announcement, I just sit. I do my best to just sit. Unless the person who needs to get out is like in the window or something. Now I'm like, oh, okay, well, this is also why it doesn't work. Because a bunch of the people that don't have the layover didn't all have aisle seats. Like you basically pushed a bunch of people into the aisle to try to get around them. We might as well all just leave now. You know what I mean? We're actually holding it up now by other people letting you be like, I'm sorry, I'm so sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. And like letting you pass where there's no room. Aisles weren't made for people. It was made for one person. So when someone's getting by, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. It's my bad. Sorry. You're not going to make it. You're not going to make it. And so there was this family, tight layover, right? Not sitting together. Not sitting together at all. And everybody is doing the best they can. I'm not saying they should have planned and sat together or anything like that. Maybe there really wasn't the possibility. Maybe by the time they were buying tickets, there's just a bunch of single seats, you know? And so the family, which was like a big family, it was a Kevin McAllister amount of family. It was crazy. This family had every aisle seat down the entire plane, right? Like it wasn't a big plane. It was one of those where it wasn't just the two seats. It wasn't that small, but within the three seats, it didn't go back that far. It probably had like 30 rows or something like that. But it just straight up like 15 people together needed to get off to go to the same flight. And I knew that because they were talking to each other as we were landing. They were yelling like up and behind each other and talking to each other as we were landing. And they all had the shade up and they were all like, yep, we close. Like it was... And so then we land, they make the announcement, please let these people go, right? So then these people are trying to get out from their middle seat without the other person getting up. So before the other person can even offer to get up and get in the aisle to make room for them, they're like, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry. Sorry. Right? If you climb me, don't say excuse me. Do you know what I mean? Like if you give me, if I'm sitting, I'm sitting next to, like a Christian, sitting. And then you get up and you don't even know what you're trying to give me. You don't know if it should be the back or the front because you don't know how nimble you are, right? They're both bad in their own way. They're both horrible. Because if I'm sitting and then you got to get over me and now you over here just foot in front of the face and you just fighting to not sit in my lap. You over here, if I miss the lap, it's fine somehow. Everything is fine now. And I gotta sit there like that didn't happen. That's crazy. I don't know what's worse. I've had back and I've had front. Front is crazy because front is a relationship. I've had people stand up middle seat, turn around. That's what happened on this flight. Turned around to talk to the person behind who's also in their party, and was like, we got 6 minutes. We got 6 minutes, and it's at another terminal, so we're gonna have to run, right? And then before I can even unbuckle my seatbelt, okay, I'm sorry. 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 Climbed over me front facing. Whole time I got posted up like this, posted up elbow. Trying to block something. falls on me. Then gets up, gets in the aisle. I was like, where are you going? We married now. And so they were running, right? All running out and everything, because they all pretty much did the same thing. Some of them were nimble. Some of them were like, you know what I mean? All running down the aisle. People actually were sitting and not getting up and letting them go. It was just a real show of humanity. You know what I mean? I guess other people on the plane were like, yes, we are here, so we'll wait the other third. Usually society falls apart in that moment. You know? But let everybody get off. And then in first class was someone who I assume was the grandfather figure of the group, but they hadn't sent the wheelchair down the jet bridge yet. And so grandpa was sitting in like row 2, aisle C, watching his family run, and then one of them bringing up the rear was like, Grandpa, come on. And he was like, did you forget? And you can see it's like, I don't know, this is me projecting, but it felt like a very like son-in-law situation. Like the way that Grandpa was talking to him, it felt like he married in, because this, unless he just really doesn't respect his own blood like that, this was crazy, right? Did you forget? And then he's like, okay, I'll see if they can send a wheelchair down and everything. And he was like, go without me. Just go. I don't know what trip they were trying to make. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, I genuinely, there are some people who save up for years to go somewhere exotic, somewhere they've always dreamed of going, or maybe they want to bring their family. There are some people who get the opportunity to go places because it's being gifted to them. There's someone that's bringing their whole family somewhere. I can't imagine the stress this family was under to just be scrambling off the plane like that, right? All I know is that this man, he said, go without me. And this man cupped the back of his neck, knelt down, and tried to put his arm under his knees, and got ready to try to pick Grandpa up and run with him. Panic is one thing, but like, never let panic give you confidence. Because look, I'll just tell you what I saw, I'm not judging, but Grandpa was built like Santa. And bro was built like me. So the idea that he was gonna pick this man up and run down a terminal to a terminal in 6 minutes is a delusion. You have a spell on your mind if you think you're making it. He got Grandpa legs right about here. Grandpa over here, and we all heard it. They being loud too. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing implies I don't want to be picked up. What are you doing? You know what he's doing. You grown. You know what he's doing. But what are you doing is your way of saying stop, right? And I don't know. He believes in himself. He's trying to make the flight. bends his knees and gives it a shot. It's crazy when you pick somebody up like, I don't know, marriage style. I don't know what this is, but like when you pick somebody up like bride style like that, their eyes and your eyes are like level, right? And so Grandpa over here. Now son-in-law straining. Now he over here. I've never heard somebody muscle tear through their voice. You know what I mean? Are you done? This man said, put me down. To be fair, he had never really lifted him up. Lower the legs down and everything. And then he was like, go. Son-in-law over here. They bring down the wheelchair. I have no idea if Grandpa made it or not, you know? I don't. I just wondered if like maybe a different airline would have brought a wheelchair faster. Like maybe as an airline they only got one wheelchair, so then people have to share frequently, you know? It's tough. It's tough. Back of the airport. Back of the mall. I was walking in the mall. I came across a Santa. No line. No line at all. And really, truly, like, I don't even know when the last time it was that somebody made going to Santa part of their Christmas card. Or I saw it on social, like baby's first, you know, visit to Santa, anything like that. So it does make sense. There's nobody here, you know? And so I was like, I'll take a picture with Santa. I do that. Sometimes I'll take a picture with Santa, especially if it's a situation like this. This dude is gonna be here for like 8 hours, and he can't be on his phone. Santa can't be on his phone. So I'm like, let me just, you know what I mean? Support. You know, he's done a lot for me. Let me do something for him. And so I walk up, and you know, I gotta register. You know, you gotta purchase it from the elves beforehand, because you know, capitalism, right? So I walk up, and all right, I've done this a few times, right? I've gone to the mall, seen Santa, taking a picture with Santa, right? And how do I put this? They are nice to me in a way that's disrespectful. I walk up to the elves, and I'm like, hey, I'd love to take a picture with Santa today. And they were like, what package would you like? I was like, oh, I'll take the digital package with like 2 printouts, right? And they're like, you sure you want to do it today? Because I'm going to be honest with you, that's not even the real Santa. Like, he like, no, for real, he like a low-key backup Santa. Like, You know, real Santa got food poisoning. He called in sick, so they called him. But like, and I was like, well, I'm only here today, so yeah, let's do it. He's like, are you sure? Then the elf pulled out a picture of the other Santa with another family and was like, this is what you're missing out for. I'm not gonna lie to you, it was a better Santa. Like it was like, nah, he had like a twinkle and everything. It was crazy. Like I don't know if he used Visine for that or something, but just, you know what I mean? Like, you could hear it. You could hear, you looked at the picture, it felt like you could hear his dimples. You know what I mean? You know? I was like, well, no, I'm here today. Let's, you know what I mean? Like my man over here by himself, let's take a picture, right? And they were like, all right. And then I walked up to Santa, and this is my thing. This is what I'm talking about being too nice. I'm a grown man. I told you my name. You don't have to call me buddy this much. This is, we get into some real disrespect here. You know, and I know I don't do myself any favors because I walk up and I guess I'm not presenting like this is just gonna be a chill. I'm excited to see Santa. And I think that's what starts us off on the wrong foot Cause he's sitting there and then he see me coming and you can see in his eyes he like, what always hurt me is they look behind me for a family and they and then, you know, I walk up and once again, yeah, don't do myself any favors because I busted there. You know, they got the little fenced off area within the fake grass and then all the presents and the tree and stuff like that. And then the trail leading out that is to a line that nobody's in, right? So I walk up and I walk up a little fast. There's no line or anything. I don't know a good pace to walk. I'm not running, but like I'm walking. You know what I mean? I know where I'm going, and y'all made that snake line like it's gonna be the bank. You know what I'm talking about? They got extra fence like there's gonna be a line. There's no line. So then I'm trying to get to it. It's awkward. He's sitting over there. He a maze away. I'm just getting it over with, right? I'm sure from his perspective, because he's being still, it looked like I'm running, but I'm not running. I'm walking. I'm walking with some pace, right? But then I walk up, and then as soon as I get through the gate, and I walk up to him like, "How's it going, Sam?" And that is too much. That now he doesn't know who he dealing with. Like now he extra nice because he's unsure. You know what I mean? Man, over here, and this is my thing. I know we two grown men, but like, you gotta stay in character. You know what I mean? Like, cause I roll up, I'm like, "Hi, Santa," and he's like, "Oh." You are supposed to say ho, ho, ho. You do the exact opposite of your literal catchphrase. I'm like, "How you doing, Santa?" "Oh." How are you? What's your name? And then I was like, "I'm Josh." And I know that by using my thumb to point at myself, I know that was a wild move. If you use your thumb to point at yourself, you probably don't do everything yourself. If you're using your thumb to point at yourself, you're probably 12. You're very proud of a certificate you just earned or something. It's like, what's your name? I'm Josh. Oh. There it is again. Why are you doing that? You know what I mean? And so, he's sitting there, and it's a chair. There's a chair. There's nowhere else. You have to sit in Santa's lap. It's part of the experience. You do. And so the fact that maybe I seem eager, that's fair. I seem a little eager. And that's on me. I should be cooler about it. I should walk, you know what I mean? I shouldn't jump, so. But yeah, I go ahead, sit in Santa's lap, but, he even had the little, he knows they built it this way. This is how you're supposed to do it, so that. And I sat in his lap, and admittedly, I should have started talking. I shouldn't have just sat there waiting for him to speak or something. But I know that everybody's doing their best. I never want to put somebody who's making an honest, just an earnest effort down or anything, but. His lap game was lacking. I've sat in many laps. I've been serviced by many Santas, and what I tell you, this man's lap was weird. First of all, so I sat in my man's lap, right? And I'd never felt anything like this in my life. It felt like the top half was Santa and the bottom half was elves, because his legs were built like mine. He had the skinniest legs. So I'm sitting, I can't even get comfortable. It's like he missing a lap. I'm like, you sitting down, right? Felt like I was sitting in between two rungs of a ladder. I was like, where am I going right now? It was at that moment I was like, maybe I should have waited for the other Santa. You know what I mean? Felt like his lap would have had more cushion to it, And then he's like, well, what would you like for Christmas? And I was like, Santa, I would love the Millennium Falcon Lego set, the one that came out in 2004 with about 3,000 pieces to it. It's very hard to find online, and if you could get me that, that would make my entire Christmas. And I think my specificity hurt me here, because once again he was like, oh! I was like, that's the third one. This man said, oh! I hope that works out for you. I hope that works out. Where's the magic? I hope that works out for you. It's a crazy thing to say. Not it'll be there. Not I'll do my best. I hope that works out for you. Are are you ready to take the picture? I was like, yeah, I guess, Santa. Like, he's over here phoning it in. And then you take the picture, and I'm over here. And he looking at the camera like I'm not gonna see the picture later. Cause I'm grinning ear to ear. I'm with Santa. This man. Unacceptable. Do you know what I mean? Like what are we even doing? You know, like Santa should be battling, trying to fight back for the position that he has lost. Because he has lost it now. What used to be an experience that you waited all year to have is just a couple of clicks to a wish list, and he's left by the wayside. You would think that Santa would be excited to see anybody that was excited to see him. You know? Unacceptable. It felt like I believed in Santa and he didn't believe in me, you know? And so, you know, I get off Santa. Takes a second because he got, I don't know, it was weird. It was like I was so sunken in to the cushion because there was no lap or anything that I was genuinely like over here. Thanks Santa for his time. I'm walking away, leaving the little fenced off area. And just as I'm walking away, one of the elves, I passed them and they were like, see?
I love y'all. Thank you so much for being here. This is like... I've been living in Brooklyn for a long time, but I grew up in Louisiana. Nah. This is the thing, when you tell people that you grew up in Louisiana, whether you're at a party or a show, there's always somebody that's like, oh my gosh, I love New Orleans. And then I have to be like, yeah, that's not where I said I was from. Now, don't get me wrong, New Orleans is the best part. It's just that the whole state around that city, you know what I mean? New Orleans to Louisiana is if you had the most beautiful blue eye, but your whole face is fucked up. Like, it's... I didn't say I was from a good part. And I was broke while I lived there too. And when you're poor in a place that's already terrible, you're just more aware that you're there. You know, I was very present in my situation. I knew if I moved, it was going to be on foot, you know? And it's weird because sometimes you'll just be talking about your life. You'll tell someone that you grew up poor. And it starts a weird pissing contest you didn't mean to get into with anybody. You'll be talking about your life. I grew up poor. And they'll be like, oh, you think that's poor? Like, I'm not saying you weren't poor. I'm saying I was also being poor, all right? And they'll be like, I had a favorite flavor of dirt. And it's like, okay, all right. That's sad. That's sad. I'm not saying you weren't being poor over there. I'm just saying I was also poor over there. There's plenty of poverty to go around. I don't know if you've heard. Things are pretty bad for a lot of people. Just to give you an indication of how broke my neighborhood was, when I was little, my neighborhood was so poor that the church closed. If you understand the gravity of that situation, just imagine God being like, I ain't got it, all right? I don't know what to tell you. This is a bad neighborhood. I'm leaving, all right? I'm not dying again. I lived in Louisiana, didn't have any money. I moved to Chicago, was somehow poor. And now, living in New York is the first time in my life where I'm like making money, things are going well, able to take care of myself and my family and stuff like that. But it's crazy because all those years I had no money. And the first year I had any money, they taxed me like I always had money. That's pretty fucked up, isn't it? Like I just got, you can't give me like a leap year or something to make sure this sticks. I did the thing you're supposed to do. I pulled myself up over imaginary bootstraps people are always talking about. And as I'm edging my way up the cliff of poverty, the government is staying at the top like, we would like most of that money, please. Boop. And look, don't get me wrong, I grew up the beneficiary of tax programs. I have no problem paying my fair share of taxes. I just don't like the way that we have to pay taxes. Just tell me what I owe. Like, tell me, send me a bill. Don't make me count. This is their job, and if I do it bad enough, I go to jail. That sounds fucking insane. Because I owe whatever you say I owe, so just tell me what I owe. Because then when you get the number wrong, you get a letter from the IRS the next year where they're like, hey, you're actually off by like $2,000. So you know! You know how off I was unless you knew the number the whole time. This is a setup. We just don't do anything else like that when it comes to money, you know? Like you never go out to eat on a date and you sit down and you look at the menu, but there's no prices. But you order, you eat, you enjoy yourself. But then at the end of the meal, the server doesn't just walk up to you like, so, how much do you think it costs? Don't worry, I'll wait. Oh, and by the way, if you guess wrong, there is an officer waiting outside. It's insanity. It's just crazy in a country like this, right? In a country with this much of a wealth gap, this much of a general income gap, where your financial well-being is left completely up to you with very little financial education to go out into the world with. It's crazy in a country like that, we still have game shows. That doesn't feel weird to anybody else that every night hundreds of people are getting on live national television to win life-changing amounts of money, and they lose and they still clap. That's the most Black Mirror shit we do. How is no one cursed on a game show yet? You went from $80,000 to zero. How has no one ever just looked down and been like, fuck? That's how we feel for them. Why aren't they freaking out? Every game show, they ask the contestants what they would do with the money, and the answer is almost always practical. You know, what would you do if you won tonight? And people are like, oh, I got some student loans I pay off. Or, love to pay off the rest of my auntie's house. You know? And then they lose. They go from $80,000 to zero, but by the time the camera pans them, they're like, maybe next time. It's like, did they give you drugs before the show started? Why are you so calm right now? Host of a game show is always a millionaire. That doesn't seem to bother anybody. It's never someone with a median income that could be just excited for you if you won because they understand the stakes. It's always like Ellen DeGeneres. And she's leaned over next to you like she's your friend, you know? She's like, oh, wow. What are you gonna do? I mean, $50,000 is a lot of money, you know? I mean, not to me. No, I could buy and sell your children, all right? No, but for you, this is a lot of money, you know? And the audience is on your side. Don't you other poors want him to win? We live in an almost cashless society. You use your card for everything. You might use Apple Pay for the rest. And yet, when people are desperate enough, they'll still rob a convenience store or a bank, just get their hands some quick cash to feel like they have a chance. How has no one robbed a game show yet? If I was on Wheel of Fortune and I was in dire straits and I went from $100,000 to zero, I think I'd just be like, I'm sorry, Pat. I think we're going to have to keep playing. No, fuck that. That was a bad spin. Let me spin again. That's bullshit. Let me spin again. Let me spin up. Vanna, 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 Vanna. If you move, I will blow your head off, all right? I can touch the screens myself. You think Howie Mandel is strapped? He's not. Go to Deal or No Deal with a fucking gun and be like, open all of them. How about that? I've been watching my friends date, and it's hard out here, you know. It's tough for people, especially because we're not kind to each other. Like, it's terrifying to be vulnerable when you know people are just ruthless, you know? And the thing I watch happen more than anything else, especially between men and women, is we'll use a stereotype to write the other person off. You know? Like, from men to women, it's crazy. It's like, oh, listen to her, she crazy as hell, crazy ass. And then for women to men, it's creepy. Oh, listen to him, he a creepy ass, creepy as hell. You know? I'm not saying those two things don't exist. I'm just saying the threshold to be those two things is incredibly low. Like, in order for a woman to be crazy, all she has to do is have a feeling, all right? Any feeling. It could be positive. She could be laughing. You're like, nah, it's crazy as hell. I don't like that. I don't want that type of laughter in my life. No, thank you. And all a dude has to do to be creepy is age. That's it. Bro, just be you and 60. Just keep living your life, but be 60. Someone will be like, like... I can't tell you how many times I've been out with a girlfriend. She's like, look at that creep sitting by himself at the bar. I'm like... Yeah, it sounds like he's not bothering anyone. Like, let that dude be 60 somewhere. Because what I don't like about it is that it's almost always covering up a thing. It's a thing you don't want to say. So you say the thing that's a stereotype to get people on your side. You know? Like, is she crazy? Is she really crazy? Or did you just get caught? So it is like half the time you were doing something you weren't supposed to be doing, and she caught you, and now in the face of facts and evidence and good points, all you have left is try to make her question reality, you know? That's why dudes be up here like, she believe everything she see with her eyes. She crazy as fuck. Like, I can't deal with this type. I didn't sign up for this. Like, just because she saw me do it, she gonna be like, you did it. This bitch crazy as hell. I can't. Is he creepy? Is he truly creepy? Or is he just ugly? Like, when are we gonna start being honest? I get it, he has a crush on you, and it's sweet, but when he looks at you, his eyes don't go in the same direction, and it's upsetting. But we can't just add a whole personality trait. Did we learn nothing from The Hunchback of Notre Dame? An entire Disney movie dedicated to this exact situation. Quasimodo wasn't creepy, heart of gold, but he was fucked up looking. We can all admit it. And he laid his feelings out for Esmeralda. Esmeralda did her damnedest. She really did. Quasimodo told her how he felt, and Esmeralda was like, ooh. Quasi, look, he a knight. Okay, this might be my only chance to get out the hood. All right, you understand. Which is honestly Esmeralda's loss. You know, it really is, because you know Quasimodo was packing. All right, he had to be. Nobody walks like that doesn't have a hog. All right, that whole movie that it was up here doing this shit. Like, nah, he was slinging pipe. Okay. And he was strong enough to ring the bell by himself. He would have split Esmeralda in two. She wasn't ready. She wasn't ready.
The name of the tour has like so many different meanings. Like, there's the 15 aspect of like trying to release 15 minutes every week. There was the, you know, the sort of freshman is like a renewal thing. Like, this is my first year doing stuff the way that I've been doing it. But I still feel like so new I still feel like a baby sometimes, because then you get around people who are just masterful. Like you see the way that they work and the way they write, or just their stage presence. So much to learn from everybody, and I feel like I'm still just soaking it all up. Like I don't know. Like I still feel like I'm like everybody's little brother sometimes, because I'm so curious about how everyone thinks and about how they put together what they put together. Watching people be so much more centered than you even know how to be, that's fascinating. And then watching someone take over with their stage presence in a way that's like magic, you know? It's like, I feel like it is like magic sometimes when you look at magicians, and magicians, a lot of them probably know what each other's tricks look like, but every once in a while somebody will create something, and they'll pull something out of nowhere that even makes the magicians go like, damn, that's wild. And I feel like that for jokes sometimes, you know, and that's what I want to create for other comics and other people. It's just like, you think you know where I'm going and you don't, you know, or just the whole overall thing was like an experience.
Y'all have great laughs. I love y'all because y'all are actually laughing. You know what I mean? Like, you'd be surprised how many people pay money to come to a comedy show, buy drinks, and then still don't laugh because they're self-conscious about their laugh. But your laugh is still you expressing joy. We can't be so hard on ourselves that we're like, no, my joy is stupid. I sound like a fucking idiot when I'm happy. I'm just gonna sit here and stare so I look normal. In the entire time that I've been doing comedy, I've honestly only ever heard one weird laugh. I was doing this show in Amsterdam, and there was a guy, center, dead center. I don't even remember what I said that got him so good. But this dude went to laugh, and I'm not even kidding. This is a perfect impression of his laugh. He went, not only did I stop, the entire audience stopped. And someone sitting behind him actually jumped up and wrapped their arms around, started giving him the Heimlich. Because we were all sure, we're like, that's a dying person. There's no joy in there. I'm not gonna lie, I had a flashback just then. Like that. When you coughed, I was like, there's no way. There's no way he made it to Brooklyn. That's wild.
Logan and I actually met in Chicago, and we did a few shows together before we started really hanging out and everything. And so it's just, yeah, it's important to me to have him there for stuff, because it's someone who I think, when you are on the same wavelength as a friend for long enough, you can start to look at each other like that moment, you know, like that moment where something weird happens and then you don't have a person to look at to be like, this is insane, right? It's like Logan is that person for me when it comes to comedy. We have a good way of seeing each other, and I feel like we bring out the funniest parts of each other, So that's been great, and we've been doing that for like 3 years now. And so he's also going to be doing the Bell House tomorrow. Yeah, we're gonna have a good time. I slept pretty well. I had that sleep where you fall asleep and then you wake up in a panic, thinking it's been maybe 10 minutes and it was all night, which I think is good sleep, even though you woke up like screaming. Drinking some white tea, it's apparently even better for you than green tea. And I haven't had it in a while, but I need lots of energy tonight because we have 2 shows at the Bell House. We sold them both out. So I just want to make sure it's a good show for everyone. And I'd be lying if I said I wasn't a little there's a hair in here. Feel free to cut this. I don't want people knowing I drink hairy tea. I mean, it's not a foreign hair. It's not like a hair that's like not from this house, It's recognizable. Now it's and this thing is like $16 or something. So I can't waste this cup. It's dry leaves.
I think I've been freaking out about getting older in a way. Like I feel like it's hard not to compare yourself with anyone else your age and just or anyone in your career and everything, and wonder if you're not aging in like the right way, And I want to age as best as possible because it's coming. There's nothing you can do about it. But there's just so many there's only a few lanes, it seems, as an old man that you can go. There's only a few directions. You could be creepy old man. You could be like an angry old man. You could be a sweet old man. Or you could just have dementia. Like, it's just, these aren't a lot of great options. And I'm scared because I don't know how much you choose. Like, life keeps happening and you keep reacting to it, and every reaction feels rational, but who's to say? I'm scared I'm gonna become like an angry old man because I already hate kids. But not kids at large, not kids as an idea. I got beef with specific children. There's a few of them already that like, ooh, one day, you know what I mean? Like, just, I'll tell you about one of them. I was walking down the street and I was minding my own business, how most of my stories start, right? And then there was this Girl Scout. No, you need to be on my side, all right? I'm gonna tell you what she did, just listen, okay? I was walking down the street and there was this Girl Scout and she over here working her little corner or whatever, like. And she laying it on thick too, like cookies, like all that stuff. And so I'm walking and then I'm trying to just avoid eye contact because she already not at my height level, so I'm just staring straight ahead and she like cookies, all that stuff, right? And then she like leaned in just to make eye contact and was like cookies, and I was like, oh no, I'm okay. Thank you so much though. You have a wonderful day. I said all that. I didn't need to say all that. I didn't say all that at all. I could have just kept walking. I could have acted like something was playing in my AirPods, like something, right? But I said that because I'm like, look, she out here, young woman trying to be an entrepreneur. I'm going to give her an encouraging word, okay? I'm not going to give her any money, but she's going to, get good vibes off me. So I'm walking. I'm like, oh, no, thank you, but you have a great day. And I'm not even past her yet. She's still right here. As I get closer, she goes, it's okay if you're broke. What? What? Who? What do you do next? Do you know what I mean? This is crazy. This is just, and so that I shouldn't have stopped. I should not have stopped. I should have just kept going about my day. But now I'm like level with, and I stopped. I was like, excuse me? And she goes, it's okay if you're broke. She said it again. That's the Bronx. Like, that's something specific in a person to say that I'm closer to you now. That's crazy. You're out here by yourself. Where are your parents? You're out here selling cookies on the corner talking shit. That's so insane. And it's like, what do you do next? I can't just be out here yelling at this. I can't just be a grown black man out here on the street yelling at a little girl holding cookies. Fox News would have a fucking field day. If I'm just out here, they get a still of me like, she's holding the cookies like this. New York Post, black man strikes again. That's... No, what do you do? So I hit her with everything that felt like within the parameters of polite conversation to do. I told her, I was like, Santa ain't real, all right? Too fair. No, because she was gonna find out anyway. And with a little girl like this, Santa ain't coming anyway. So like, let me just... I'm like, Tooth Fairy ain't real, Easter Bunny ain't real. And she was like, I know. And you don't have any real money. And I left because what do you do? So I left, but I was like, I'm gonna go home, and I'm gonna pray. All right? I'm gonna pray against this little girl. Lord, just keep it that same size her whole life, just. It was a while back where I still hadn't got like my money right. And I remember the AirPods came out, Apple AirPods, and I don't know why, but I wanted them. And I don't even know why I think I wanted them because I knew I couldn't afford them. It was just something to have, right? Something to use as a marker to be like, I got it like that now, right? And so I'd saved up a little bit, but I still didn't have enough. Now I was getting close, and I decided, no, I'm not gonna spend this on something material. I'm gonna take this money, and I'm gonna spend it on something that could be like a memory, something that I won't lose, something that can't just break, right? And so I took a trip to Mexico, and when I was in Mexico, I saw some knockoff AirPods. And they were cheap, and they weren't just cheap by conversion rate, they were cheap in pesos. They were so cheap, I thought they were a toy, right? But I was like, let's roll the dice and see if these really work, right? If they compare to my phone and everything. And so I bought them, I brought them home, and I opened the box. Now the box was bigger than the AirPod box usually is. And then I opened it up, and then the AirPods were like 3 times bigger than AirPods are supposed to be. So first of all, when I put them in, they genuinely hurt. Like these, I don't have the biggest ears, but these were hurt. I had to wrench them in. I had to like use leverage to squeeze them into my head. And then, you know how they're supposed to come here? Like, it's like they were hanging low. Like, it's like, anybody that could see me could see these weren't real AirPods. They look like 2 wrenches hanging out of my head. And so I remember I turned them on, and I had to press the button because they were so big, they had buttons. All right, so I pressed the button, and it didn't even make a technology sound. It wasn't like, it was like, immediately. And I don't know if this is related, but as soon as I turned them on, my balls hurt. I don't know if that's part of it, but I turned them on, and it was like, immediately. And so I turned them on, and then while I had them on, my mom called me. And I've never used any sort of listening device that could connect to Bluetooth where somebody called you and sounded like they were behind you. Like, I hit the button to answer the call. I was like, ding, ding, and then, because you had the ding, ding, and then I hit the ding, ding, and then I was like, hey, Mom, and she's like, hey, how you doing? I was like, oh. And I tried it for 3 weeks. 3 weeks, every day, I was like, it's not gonna hurt tomorrow. Kept putting them in my head, kept wrenching them in. It took 3 wrenches to get them in. It was like, doom, 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 and they both be in, and like, and like, every day for 3 weeks, right? And then finally, I had to hang it up. I was like, you know what? if you want something, you gotta get the real thing, you know? You gotta get the genuine product. And so I went ahead, I put them up, stopped using them, saved up my money, got some real AirPods. But then the real AirPods, they didn't fit in my ear because I had stretched it so much. And my right one snapped back a little bit, but my left one still loose. Like my ear ussy is not tight at all. It's loose as hell. And so if I even yawn, the left one fall out. The left one is consistently in danger. I only put the right one in on a plane. I can't risk it.
So conveniently, I just happened to have the cue cards from when I did Tonight Show.
Our next guest can be seen at the Helium Comedy Club.
Oh yeah, I was doing the clubs that week. And Josh Johnson, see him at the Helium Comedy Club
In St. Louis, November 2nd and 3rd.
Please welcome the very funny
Josh Johnson!
And then these are the jokes I did.
Guys, I'm Josh Johnson. Thanks so much. Y'all have a great night.
We'll be right back.
Josh Johnson!
So we are on our way to the Bell House right now. It's finally happening. We're about to get ready for the show. Yeah, still pretty, I don't know, still pretty, like, nervous in a sense, because I'm a little, this is very unprofessional of me, but I'm a little unsure of exactly what I want to do as far as like, I've got the set, but then joke to joke, I'm like wondering if little middle pieces need to be there and stuff like that. So it's like still just tinkering with it in my head and stuff. And there's nothing that I think is gonna bomb. And I think that is most of what doing comedy is like. Everything that I'm gonna do tonight, I think works. So if it doesn't, that will be news to me. I have this one that I'm really excited to do because it's like, I've done it a couple times before, but it's about someone that I know and how she did ayahuasca for the first time. And yeah.
I've been doing my best to read more, and there's a thing I've been thinking about all year, about how back in the earliest civilizations, if someone wanted to seek a higher self, they always sought some sort of deity. There was a god that them and their tribe worshipped, you know, that made them feel closer to something bigger. And as society progressed and you had slightly more modern civilization, still ancient to us, it splintered a little bit. There was a god, but then there was also spirituality. You could seek a higher self. And then there was also the tribe or the state. There became a thing of, as long as it's not about me, then maybe it can be bigger than me. And then you fast forward to modern times, to today, and it's completely splintered off. Some people, it's still God, some sort of spirituality. Other people, it's a cause. It's something that they feel they can use to make the world a better place, leave it better than they found it. You know, I have a friend who seeks her higher self through drugs, like mind expanding, mind altering drugs to get a better sense of who she is, whatever that bigger self is supposed to be. And she told me a little while back that she did ayahuasca. And she had always been terrified to do ayahuasca because she wasn't sure of the place that it would take her, and she was ready to see herself in that light, you know? And she told me, and I was like, oh, well, you know what? Good for you. There was something you were scared to do, and you did it. You made it happen, right? And we were talking about it, and she was like, yeah, it's just so serendipitous. You know, I was just at the grocery store, and I was like, what? And she was like, yeah, I was at the grocery store near my place. And I was like, you did in Brooklyn? Like, what? I thought thought you flew to Peru or something. It's like, yeah, I did at a grocery store near my place. I met this guy and we got to talking and we were on the same vibe and he told me that he had some and I was like, wait. You know how black people have a reputation for talking during the movie? I was doing that the whole story. Like, she's telling me about a story in the past and I'm still like, bitch, get out the room. Get out the room. It's like, yeah, so when, we were talking, we were on similar wavelength and everything, and so, I went back to his place with him because he said that he had some, and he showed me how to do it, and honestly, as soon as I smoked it, and I was like, what? I don't know if y'all have ever done ayahuasca. I've never done ayahuasca, but every documentary I've watched about ayahuasca, it's a drink. There's never a pipe involved. And she was like, yeah, as soon as I smoked it, I could just feel like, I felt so much energy, I could feel like my ancestors rushing through me and everything, and I was like, oh, Bethany. Bethany, you smoked crack. Like, I hate to be the one to tell you. You seem excited about everything that happened. I hate to break to you, but you got to be more discerning. This is insane. I could just feel like the ancestors coursing through me. It's like, are you related to Reagan? Like, what are you talking about? It's chaos.
Comedy was the first way I learned how to really communicate with people. And so watching other people communicate, even if I'm just watching my friend's show, like I'm gonna watch Logan go up tonight, I'm gonna watch Onika before I go up. I think that you get such a slice of a person and who they are when you watch them do comedy. You ready? Yep. Okay. Thank you, sir. Do you get nervous? Are you nervous?
I'm not nervous yet. It might hit me like in a little bit. Like probably when the show is starting, I'll probably get a little nervous.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
But
I feel like I don't get, once I'm up, everything is fine.
Yeah, once I'm up, it goes away. But it's like, it'll start like,
yeah.
Once like they start, pre-show announcements or whatever, once lights change, then there'll be a little bit.
Yeah.
A lot of times not much, but maybe for something like this, maybe a little bit more.
Once I am up there, though, I feel like I am where I'm supposed to be. So it all sort of melts away.
I'm very grateful, though, to a good portion of my family. Family teaches you how to deal with the same type of people that you're going to meet out in the world as them, right? I feel like I deal with crazy people well because my uncle is a conspiracy theorist, but he don't believe in any of the popular ones. Everything my uncle say, I've never heard anybody else say in my entire life. I was at my uncle's house one time. I was just chilling with him, right? Sitting there watching TV. Out of nowhere, my uncle turns to me during a commercial and he goes, "You know them kangaroos is a myth." What do you say to that? What do you say next to something like that? What's the plan now? You know what I mean? And this is my thing with conspiracies, is that if there's money to follow, I can understand how somebody got there, right? I'm not saying it makes it true. I'm not saying it's any less crazy, but money is an incredible motivator. It's one of the most powerful ones that we have as people. So if there's money to follow, I could see how someone arrived at some sort of conclusion, as crazy as it may be. So I asked him, who is making money off of all of us believing in kangaroos? And without missing a beat, he was like, I bet them zoos making a pretty penny. It's like, what's wrong with you? You think there's just a guy. You think there's just a guy in a suit, just a former Olympian jumping as high as he can for 8 hours a day. He's like, you making some good points. I'm like, I'm not in it. I'm asking you questions. I don't agree with your thing. Don't do that. I sat down with this man and watched an 1.5-hour documentary about kangaroos that I didn't need because I'm a believer. And at the end, he just turns to me. He's like, "That's a deep fake. I know a deep fake when I see one." I'm like, "You're beyond help." I think that's why I'm so freaked out about getting older. It's the way that we treat people who are older. It's who we turn into when we get older. You know? Like I've had the blessing of being around people who were much, much, much older than me. There's a relative I have. He's so old we don't know how old he is. We just, and now he can't even tell us. He's like, from before. A lot has happened. You know, but we know he's over 90 because he got that 90 face. You know what I'm talking about here? He got that. Everybody in here who knows my 90 know what I'm talking about. They all make the same face. They're always like, huh! Nonstop. No matter where you take them, every all the time. It's like they're surprised they're still alive. Like every night they go to sleep and they wake up, they think it's gonna be heaven and it's regular earth. And they're like, "How? I'm so old." And I used to wonder why they made that face, and I think I figured it out. All of us are still living in the world. We're still active participants in the world. Things happen in the world, we react to them in real time. We still affect change in the world. He's not like that. He's been retired for decades. He's been sitting on a couch watching Westerns. He's not in the world. So every once in a while, somebody tells him something that's happening in the world, and he's shocked. And that's what you're seeing is permanent shock face on people in their 90s. Because I'll say something I don't even think is that groundbreaking. You know? I'll just be chilling with him. And he'll be like, "Ah! They made women's basketball?" I'm like, "Yeah, dude, a long time ago. When are you from?" You know? But it's a blessing to have people like that in my life. It actually, you know, I appreciate it for what it is. And I hope I get to live that long. But if I do, then I'm going to have a thing. There's going to be one day where I'm like, "Ah!" It makes me wonder what mine is going to be. You know? Like, it's probably going to be a sex thing. I feel like social stuff, I'm pretty malleable. And things sort of roll off my shoulder. But I think one day in 2050, I'll be sitting there like, "Huh! They're sucking elbows now?" That's pretty docile. It'll probably be worse than that. Has somebody ever asked you to do something in bed that made you go like, Did the last guy do it? Because like if the last guy did that, I'll do it. But if you just came up with this, I don't feel comfortable, all right? Don't get me wrong, if the last guy did it, I'll do it. I'm not going to be outdone. But if you just came up with this, I need to do some research because I've never heard of that before. You know? I just don't want to do something for someone and then they go out in the world and they're like, "Josh loves sucking an elbow." It's like, no, don't do that. Tell them you asked me to, all right? Tell them you had to ask me twice, okay? Because first I said no, then I said, then I did it. I sucked a girl elbow one time, but she asked me to. I didn't get it either. It didn't make sense to me. Sitting there like, is your wiener stimulated? Like, no. Like y'all look like y'all are together, you know? It's just extra skin. That's what's weird. Like y'all might go home later and get a little freaky and everything, and like, look at your elbow and look at his balls. That's the same. That's the same skill. You know what I mean? That's why I don't like when women are like, ugh, balls are gross. It's like, you got balls too, bitch. Don't do that.
How do you feel the tour has been this year? Because this kind of whole year has been the freshman tour. And we've been a lot of different places, both flying, road trips, a little mix of everything. How's that all, when you look back on it?
When I look back, I feel really good about it because I think that I think that we've both grown, and I also feel like we've made better and better shows. Oh well, now you're ruining it. Don't touch me. This is terrible.
Sorry, this is actually how we are. I'm sorry if it's bad for this. This is.
I think that we've made better and better shows for people to come to.
I think so.
I think that for the most part, I can't help but be happy with everything. And then it's great to meet people afterwards and hang out with them and talk to them and stuff. I'm always bummed out when there's like too much of a time crunch to do the meet and greet. Like if we have to leave or something. Yeah. Or if there's another show right after or something, like that always makes me a little sad because I do like to meet everyone and I don't know, I'm a chatty guy.
Yes. And that's why sometimes with meet and greets, I'm working as security to keep it moving.
Josh, welcome to the stage, please.
Yeah.
I do want to take a second to thank every single one of you so much for being here. Thank you for watching. Like, my life really changed this year, and it's because of y'all. You know? Like, this has been, you know, my dream to do this since I was a little kid. And I'm doing it now because of y'all, you know? I think if it wasn't for y'all, I'd just be in a room by myself, which would be pretty jarring, you know what I mean? Because to me, comedy is a lot like magic, you know? And if a magician is doing tricks for nobody in the room, he's just a person lying to himself. I'm about to make this disappear. It's in my hand. You know? And it's the same way for comedy. If I was here without you, I'd just be sitting in a room by myself being like, maybe this is a good idea. So I appreciate y'all. And I've had to do a lot of self-reflection this year. Maybe I can make this idea make sense. Okay, there's a person that I think that I am, and a person that I actually am. And I spend all my time trying to make sure that those two people are the same person. Does that make sense? I don't want to walk around delusional, not really know myself, what I'm like, you know? Best example I can give is, years ago, I was at this 4th of July celebration. It was going to be the biggest one that the county I was in had ever put on. They had spent thousands and thousands of dollars for these like tubed cannons pointing straight up, right? And they set them up all the way down the parking lot, all the way down the beach, almost to the water. And at 8 o'clock, they started firing them off. It's the loudest thing I've ever heard. And it's one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen because it took up the entire sky. I still don't know what went wrong. But out of nowhere, 2 rows of the cannons fell over. So now they're shooting at us. And so we scatter, right? And as I'm running, I see this one woman off by herself. As the fireworks are shooting past her, she's just going, oh. And it's like, first of all, what is your plan here, ma'am? Your whole face is still, what is this hand protecting? And then a dude who I have to assume was her husband because he didn't look like a boyfriend because he didn't look good. You know what I mean? Like, he just, I don't know, he had those bad knees like he played football in the 70s or something. He's like, I'm coming, baby. And he made his way over to her. And she's right here, right? And when he runs over and he gets to her, he does this. Like a standing spread eagle to cover his wife from the oncoming fireworks, right? And then a whistler. I don't know if you know which one that is, but it does a tight circle, no color. One of those is coming right at him, all right? And then right when the whistler was to him, where you are to me, he went, oh, and then moved out of the way. His wife caught the full shit in the chest. It was exploding on her chest. And I don't know if you watch anime growing up, but it looked like the bitch was powering up. Like she was like, oh! She looked like Goku for 6 seconds. Like, oh! She got so bright, I was like, she dead. There is no way. But that's what I mean. There's a dude he thought he was. And a dude he actually was. Because in his mind, he's the type of dude to take a whistler to the chest for his wife. But in real life, he was a dude willing to find a new wife. Like, thank y'all so much. I'm Josh Johnson. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I mean it. I appreciate every single one of you. Thank you so much for coming out. And there's a lot more to come. Thank you so much. Have a good one.